Today we are switching the roles because usually I give advice about cars, but today you are the consultant for us. Leah and I, we are searching for a new vehicle. We're soon going to talk about what we think about, what we might be buying, but I really want your feedback. What would you suggest Leah, me, or we together should actually buy? One or two, lease, buy used, buy new, and so on. So basically we are very open, but we'll soon go into the details what we have been thinking of the last few weeks. But first of all, I want to start with, sometimes I do a review of a car and someone writes, "Oh Thomas, this would be a perfect car for you. I totally see you in this vehicle or owning it or something." And I found that very, very interesting because maybe sometimes you're a little bit blind yourself for that, and then it's really good to get some feedback from the outside. Or maybe you have seen some reviews and said like, "Oh, Tom seems to be really happy with this vehicle, maybe he should get one." Yeah, then of course also what vehicle would you think would fit to me best, and also which vehicle would fit best to Leah. And we start first of all, no matter which segment, and I'm really looking forward so much to your feedback, and we really want to make it a thing here that we follow your feedback, we check out the comments, we're looking forward what you have to say, and then actually pick these vehicles there and test them ourselves again, new or used. Let's see which ones we can get, and then then proceed further basically. So we're taking you along our decision, our purchase process, and this will be a lot of fun for us and of course a lot of fun for you. So please start with just like a very open suggestion. What you think, what is the most fitting vehicle to me, and what is maybe the most fitting vehicle to Leah? Looking forward to that.
Hi, it's Leah here. Thank you everyone for supporting us, and all the nice and kind messages from all of you. And I love you all, and thank you so much for everything. For me, it's very important that the car looks very nice from the outside, because when you go to the car and it looks nice, then you always say, that's my car. Some examples are maybe the X5 or the Porsche Panamera. I love the Porsche Panamera with this Provence color. You know that? It's the Leah lavender rose color. For me, it's very important that the car is comfortable, and for me as a passenger princess, that's a thing. You know that. And maybe there's some place for my Stanley Cup.
And now let's get into some of the details, what we have thought so far, because obviously we make our own experience with all different reviews we make, and in general we are basically open to any brand, so we don't have any special brand preference or something like that. You know that I used to drive Jaguar because I've also been working for Jaguar and we're in love with British cars and the design and so on. Well, we all know what happened with Jaguar, and really sad that the brand just spiraled downwards, sadly. Let's see if this relaunch will do any good to the brand. Definitely closely following that as well. And our most recent purchase was the Audi S5 convertible. If you have not seen this review, we will also link it again towards the end of this video, the Audi S5 convertible review, where, we love this car on the one hand. On the other hand, we also had like mixed experience with it. Definitely still a great car, and we love driving with open top with that convertible. And for the new vehicle, well, it could actually at this moment still go into different directions. So the one, thought is replacing the S5, but there's also the thought of just keeping it because, now I invested a little bit in this vehicle, it drives well, it's a nice 3-liter 6-cylinder, it's an open top, it's great. If you would buy a new convertible, because I definitely want to keep at least one convertible, might be thinking in the direction of a BMW 4 Series convertible, for example, if I would buy one new now. Other convertibles, not sure what else to think of that, at this moment. But another solution could also be just keeping that one, because, we have, let's say, different goal conflicts. So Leah prefers something that is still like a little bit more compact, where she can also go shopping with, also maybe like tighter corners, narrow streets, going in the basement garage or some normal car garage park like this one here, easy when you're getting in and out and so on. At the same time, we both love convertibles. Then I'm more thinking of if we go to events and we have a long way to drive and we want to fly less, for example, and more want to drive like with the car. I'm thinking of something for long haul, something that is more convenient, more comfortable than like this mid-size segment with the Audi A5, or in this case then the S5. So I'm more thinking into larger cars where Leah also has fun with, but then again she says, yeah, does it always have to be so large and so on, where, you know, with the male choices of cars. So this is like, yeah, thinking back and forth here at the moment. Leah really loves the Mercedes GLC. Been driving this one in different versions, different engine versions and so on. She also had a lot of fun with that, driving with the girls, with all the ambient lighting pumped up and listening to loud music and so on. And then we also have some vehicles which we both like very much indeed. But first of all, to my favorites. So I really like a BMW 5 Series and the Mercedes E-Class. I think for me it's like this segment where these cars really shine inside the brand portfolio. I also like the Audi A6, but more in that previous generation, not the all-new we've shown to you, which drives great, just with the driving review it just launched. But the interior, I'm more happy with the previous generation interior. So Mercedes E-Class, Audi A6, BMW 5 Series, Lexus ES. You know, that would be rather my segment I'm looking forward to for like long haul driving and being very relaxed and comfortable and so on. That's why I also have like this BMW 5 Series here today, because soon I'll launch a review about this one, but really from a very, very buyer's perspective, from my buyer's perspective. And we will test that one also with different engine versions, because I want to find out more about the difference plug-in hybrid versus like really high spec and 6-cylinder, and then with a more low spec 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, also comparing the weight and so on. And what we also want to do is take you with us when we check out some used vehicles. You know, are they still good then? What does my friend at the workshop maybe say, if I can buy it or not? And are they still in good shape and so on? This will be super interesting. Or for example, we'll also go for a used 5 Series. So this here, the G60, also take a look at the G30. And if it's maybe even better going for the previous version. So I'm really looking forward for that whole process, also for me personally, because I'm still totally into cars after all these years. I love cars, and also, you know, the different buying I really enjoy that actually. Yeah, so this segment really interesting to us definitely. And recently there were also some interesting leasing offers, for example, for BMW 7 Series. When I think about which cars have I driven in the past years, and that really impressed me and like left the impression of, I really need to buy one. I mean, that time maybe like long-term subscribers will remember when I test drove the Audi A5 convertible. I went on that review and thought like, damn, I think I really need one. And that doesn't happen that often, because when, I mean, I probably drove, I don't know, 1,500, 2,000 cars in my life or something like that. And then in a way, yeah, you don't get impressed that easily. It's just like a natural thing. But when I then returned from an event, I thought like, that car was so nice, I really wanted it home. That means something then. And I had that feeling with the Audi A5 convertible at that time, and that's why I ultimately also ended up with owning one. And I had that feeling somehow with the BMW 7 Series as well. Yes, it can be criticized from the exterior. Some might like say like the exterior grille is too loud, and I can really understand that. And I also have more favorite cars from the exterior design, but it still drives so smooth. And they also have the animal-free seats, which are extremely comfortable. So I'm also thinking about that. You know, it's still larger, and Leah says like, this guy is like too large, the vehicle, you know, but what's the use for that? But I'm still also fancying that one. And yeah, so I think at this moment, Mercedes GLC, BMW 5 Series, Mercedes E-Class, Lexus ES, BMW 7 Series, Audi A6 previous generation, and of course Audi A7. There's no all-new one from that yet, at least also not planned. But we found the Audi A7 also extremely beautiful from the outside, and I have to think about what about repair costs, of course, if you buy used ones and so on. So Leah, for example, also really liked the BMW 4 Series Grand Coupe. That might be also a mix of everything, and of course a little bit lower in the price in comparison to the segments above that. Then if we more think about larger SUVs, we both really like the BMW X5 or the BMW X6. However, looking at these larger SUVs, both the used car prices and also the new leasing rates, you always pay some kind of a extra SUV price in comparison to the correspondent model, which is not the SUV. And what I also realized, getting in and out is nice, seating position is pretty nice with the SUVs, also that you have the hatch in the back and so on. But in driving, especially long distance, of course, the lower sitting cars always give you some, more calmer driving feeling, and the G-forces have, a different effect on the body, especially for the passengers when you are in these high-sitting SUVs. There are some examples for that which prove it, but there are also some other, like, for example, we had the GLC 63, which was great from the suspension, that even though you were in an SUV, it was great in agile driving. So it's sometimes that way, sometimes this way. But in general, of course, thinking about what is the most comfortable also for long-haul driving. Yeah, and then, of course, how are the forces applied on the passenger. So we're also open to the SUVs, but it doesn't have to be the SUVs. And, of course, the price-performance ratio has to be somewhat realistic. And the Porsche Panamera. We had one model there with a plug-in hybrid and also with the fabric seats that were pretty cool. It's my favorite Porsche actually at this moment, the Porsche Panamera. And Leah also liked it very much. So we're also thinking about this one. You see, there are still a lot of cars in the mix. That's why we really need your help. The thing of that one, like asking you, is also maybe we have forgotten something and we should go back a step maybe and take this one into consideration. And that's why we also want to keep you updated with everything of that. Question is, of course, lease new, buy used, or buy new. Buying new is, it depends if you get like a great discount. Leasing rate, it has to be a great offer. And then buying used, then it depends on like what repair cost can we expect with a vehicle, and for example, how reliable is a car or something like that. Yeah, and you heard we rather go in the premium direction. It doesn't have to be like super top luxury, like doesn't need to be like super exclusive brands or something like that, but rather in the premium segment. Or if a vehicle that is not in the premium segment can also be convincing. So if we thought about going EV, we also, for example, took the VW ID.7 in our closer decision, because I think it's one of the best EVs out there at the moment, and probably also the best overall price performance EV, also from the German manufacturers, because it's quite efficient, has a lot of room on the interior, has very comfortable seats and so on, and a great turning circle because the front wheels go inwards so much, and you don't even need a rear axle steering for that. So that is maybe also something to consider on our shortlist. Yeah, in general about EV or not. So we have a wall box in the basement garage so that we would be ready for that. We often go long trips inside Germany, and that can be sometimes 400, 500 kilometers, maybe even one way. And then, of course, the question was, what is with recharging? And theoretically, it works well when the charging station works and so on. But sometimes we already had such experience that we were delayed 2-3 hours on the whole trip because then this charging station was not working, or it failed or sometime, or then it was all blocked. And we had already a lot of bad experience driving electric vehicles, sadly. The thing is, itself, they drive great, and a lot of also very, convenient and great in technology and so on. And the electric vehicles make sense for a lot of use cases. But the question is if it makes sense for ours. We're still totally open as for the powertrain. Me personally, I prefer 6-cylinder petrol engine as for the experience, but we're also open to EVs. And for example, recently I saw a leasing offer that the BMW i7 is sold at the lower leasing rate than the BMW 5 Series. And then, of course, you might be thinking, wait a minute, if I can buy the i7 for a very good price, maybe then electric. So this is all playing, is in this effect. So what do we really need? So I want something like for long-haul travel. At the same time, Leah thinks about, does it have to be too big? Maybe it can be like a size smaller or something like that. And then long-haul is the question, does the electric thing already work for us with our driving profile and so on? And that is like, could be that or this or that way, but also definitely a very interesting experience. Or we could end up with saying like, maybe it needs to be like one very large one and then like a tiny one for the city. It would also be a combination. So whatever you want to suggest, if you say like, Thomas, I really think this one vehicle could be a solution for everything, or if you rather say, I think you maybe need two, like this and that one. And as I said, price-wise, we are also open maybe to buy maybe a 3, 4, 5-year-old used one, because used vehicles sometimes also have advantages. I mean, from sustainability aspect, the car that is already built is always the most sustainable one. But also if you think about some systems that need to be turned off nowadays, in older vehicles, they are off by default, like this speed chime warning where you now always have to deactivate it. In the used vehicles, it's not there, you know. So, or for example, if you think about the BMW 5 Series, the G30, let's say if we go for a touring, you can have like the separate glass opening at the rear, you know, and the previous generation 5 Series is a little bit shorter than the nowadays 5 Series. Could be something where it's like, hey, maybe Leah is not happy with the large new 5 Series, but maybe she will be happier with the shorter previous generation 5 Series. So a lot of thoughts there at this moment. We will keep you updated with our developing shortlist. We will do some reviews where we keep that one into consideration. Also take you to the dealers where we do some used car rides. And then really looking forward to your sincere feedback. And yeah, I mean, doing this video, I'm so excited what you're going to say, what you want to suggest to us. And yeah, I mean, on a daily basis, I'm giving so much advice over all different social media channels, like which car to buy. And you know, I've never been about this is the best car, this is the worst car. What I always want to try to find, what is the best car for you? And that's exactly what you will do for us right now. So really enjoy this this whole thing going on here with us together. So have you already written a comment? If not, do it right now.